I need another restoration project like I need a hole in the head. But you know, I just can't resist saving a unique or rare old Mercedes. It's like an addiction for me. And sure enough, here we go again. Take a look at these two cars here. Yep, they're rare and unique 190 16 valve sedans. And I recently responded to a local Craigslist ad that said 190E for sale. And only when I read the fine print did I realize that it was a 16 valve. So I called and went over, and when I opened the garage, there were two of them in there. Now, you're saying, what, two 16 valves? But yeah, they're not really two total cars. The black one there was wrecked and had the engine pulled out. You can see the engine on the ground here. Everything was shoved into the garage. He had gone out and bought another 16 valve without the engine that you see here that has a really good body. So we talked for a bit, and it looked like, wow, with all the parts, because you know, you look inside this smoked silver one, and the leather's all dried out. So it's obvious this car has, you know, sat out in the sun for a while. But looking at the body is really nice. The paint is acceptable, and there's no body damage. And all the ground effects trim is intact. There's no cracks, so all the parts are there. The engine that we removed from the black one was recently rebuilt. So we've got an engine, we've got a 5-speed, and then he bought a whole bunch of high-performance parts. Lots of polyurethane bushings and upgrades for this car. So he was planning to build a high-performance 16 valve. So, you know, after looking at all this in the garage, I could not resist. So I said, yep, I'm going to take it. So then the next day we came in, you know, we pulled these cars out, we loaded them on the trailer, and hauled them back to the farm. Now, you can see in this picture that the owner wasn't too happy to get rid of everything. They were moving to a new location, so they had to empty the garage. And you can see here that it looks like the wife was happy to see them all gone. So they're back here at the farm now. You look at the black one over there. I'll take you over there and kind of show you what we've started on that one already, and I'll show you what we've done. I've probably done well over 100 restoration projects on these older Mercedes-Benz. And I learned very early on, anytime I got a car to restore, the first thing I went after was a good parts car. You can't believe when you're doing a restoration how handy it is to just go to a parts car, pull some piece of trim off, pull some bolts that are missing, or any little part that you need, it's right there. You don't have to spend hours on eBay or Craigslist trying to find it because you have the parts car. And I couldn't believe it. I walked in the garage and here's a parts car right there along with this one. I mean, I didn't even know that from the ad. And I asked the person, I said, well, what are you going to do with that car? Oh, we're going to just, we weren't going to sell that. We were just going to take it off to the crusher. And you can imagine, oh, don't take that to the crusher. You know, I'll pay you extra for this car. And we hauled this black one back, and in the last 2 days, we've completely stripped it. And, you know, we're talking probably 10 boxes of parts. The seats in this black one are absolutely gorgeous. The black leather is soft. There's no separation in the stitching. And, you know, just pulling all the stuff out of the engine compartment, you know, you're talking heater blower motors and all the computers, and we pull the wiring harness, and it goes on and on and on. And then we went inside the car and pulled every piece, because all the carpets, all the vinyl and plastic trim pieces were in excellent condition on this black one. So you look in there, and we have really removed all those parts, and they're going to come in handy. And then, of course, we're not done yet. Before we finally call the scrapper to come and get this car, we're going to pull that rear end out, because this is a good 16-valve rear end in this car. So now we're ready to go. Not only do we have a good body, a good engine, but we've got tons of spare parts. And between all the interior parts of the black one and the good body of the smoked silver one, we're going to be able to make one really nice 16-valve. You know, this black one just keeps giving and giving. Yesterday I pulled the wheels, and guess what I found? It had larger, higher performance calipers and rotors installed, along with stainless steel brake lines, and the rotors and pads had very low miles on them. So I've got a complete brake system with the larger vented rotors and the larger front calipers. So that's a plus too. So in another day, you know, this body will be gone, and then it's on to the smoked silver one. We'll probably start, one of the things that I got with the car was a completely powder-coated rear subframe assembly with all new polyurethane bushing. So we'll probably start with the rear end, get the rear end out, completely build up that rear subframe assembly, and then slip it into the smoked silver car, and then we'll move on to getting the engine and transmission ready to put in. So we'll kind of see how this goes. I'm not going to promise a whole bunch of videos on this, but I'll jump in once in a while and give you an update as we build this car. And you know, I'm looking at my 430e over there and another car over there, and I've got my old very rare 78 Euro 6.9. And you know, I'm sorry, I'm running out of time. If I take on this 16 valve project, I'm probably going to have to let this 6.9 go or sell it. You know, I have not had time to finish the paint job on it. But this is a true, if you've watched any of my other videos, this is a true milestone 6.9 here. A 1978 Euro model with 40 more horsepower than the US models, and it has ABS brakes. This is the first Mercedes-Benz to ever come out with ABS. So it may be time to say goodbye to the old 6.9 and move on to the new project. Who knows, maybe in another week I'll find some other car and we'll have to move these 16 valve cars out. But you know, for you 16 valve lovers, when we get into this, we're going to have some really nice parts left over that I'm sure some of you may be interested in. So stay tuned for part 2.